Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Ellis Talker Show. I'm DV LeBron, and today I have a very special guest, Mayor Barnes of the city of Waxahachie. How you doing, Mayor Barnes?
I'm fine, DV. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you for coming on again. I did have you when you were a candidate, and now you're a mayor.
Yes, sir.
So very happy that you were able to, that your peers chose you to be the mayor, and you've been doing some good stuff since you've been a mayor.
Well, thank you very much. It's an honor to have that title. If you go back, in my case, I was with the city for 18 years as Director of Economic Development. And then I retired in January of 2020 and then ran for city council in November of 20. And then in June of 21, I was appointed mayor to the city of Waxahachie. It's a humbling experience, but it's such an honor to be the mayor of the community. We have a unique community here, DV.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
We are growing.
Mm-hmm.
Our citizens are moving forward within our community. They're out and about. Our growth rate is exceptional. Over the last 10 years, it's been about a 39% growth rate. But the thing that is so unique is that we're maintaining our history and our culture, DV, through all of this growth. And we're growing in all three sectors in our community. Industry, local industries expanding, creating new jobs. Our retail and commercial activity is growing. And then our housing concept is growing. We have apartments, we have single family housing, we have duplexes, senior living facilities. And therefore, that's what makes us unique. And we're going to continue to do that. We really have two goals in mind, DV. The first is to make Waxahachie a better place within which to live. And the second is make Waxahachie a better place within which to make a living.
And I've seen that. I wanted to talk to you about what you've seen as far as with the property, as far as property is concerned and the growth with it. Mayor, what are some of the things that you'd like to see going forward when it comes to approving and putting homes in this community, how we're doing it, and if we could do it differently?
Yeah, let me talk about electing or being elected mayor. Our city charter, which was initiated in 1971, suggests that the mayor and the mayor pro tem is appointed by the 5 city council members. And each year we have 3 places, 1, 2, and 3, obviously, and then place 4 and 5. Like in this coming election, the first 3 places were the incumbents. And then all of our council members are voted at large. We don't have single member districts, but we have places. And therefore, when the mayor and the mayor pro tem are appointed, that is of the 5 council members that are elected. So it's a possibility, DV, that each year the mayor and the mayor pro tem may not necessarily be appointed as they were the previous year. So that's the way our charter dictates, and it's worked for us since 1971, and we think that's a good thing to do. Relating to the growth rate, as long as we have a balanced economy, then the growth rate is going to continue to improve, relating to the tax rate. And the tax rate itself is set obviously by the city. And in, I guess it was the fall of 2020, the city lowered the tax rate from 68 cents per $100 valuation to 66 cents. And the city is compared to 11 other cities like Waxahachie in the close proximity. And when you look at those, our tax rate of 66 cents is the lowest compared to that. So our industry is growing, our retail commercial is growing, and our housing is growing. That's a balanced economy. And as long as we keep that, then they're going to share in the tax rates. Our housing, we have certain standards,
Right.
and we want to maintain those standards. So when a developer comes in, goes through our developmental review committee, and we talk about the type of development that they want to put in, they're also asked to sign a developmental agreement, meaning that they will agree to apply the standards that the city council has put into place, that the staff utilizes, and then that developmental agreement decides and divides the direction of what that development is going to be. So we're always wanting good quality housing. Here, there's such a demand for it. This last year in the city of Waxahachie, we issued 1,200 new single-family residential permits.
Wow.
And the record was 2019 was 705.
So we issued 1,200 this year, and the record had been 700 before.
Yes, in 21. And so we anticipate that the growth is going to continue to be that way. DB, we're in an ideal location. We're 20 minutes from 30 minutes from Dallas. We're 40 minutes from Fort Worth. And so people are wanting to come and live in our community because of the quality of life that our current citizens have. And that's what our council is wanting to do. That's what our city staff is wanting to do. Make sure that our citizens have what they need in terms of a quality living condition in the city that they were born and raised in a lot of cases.
So Mayor, have you conceded that we're going to grow no matter what? We might as well manage it right and kind of make it a good place, a balanced place to live. Is that kind of where you've gotten to? Or the council, not just you, the council.
Oh, the council, yes, and the city staff. Yes, we're going to grow because of our transportation corridor, because of our quality of life. And then obviously we're the county seat of Ellis County. But people are going to want to come here. We have good standards. They want to come and live. They want to enjoy living. You can work here. You can raise your children here. There are jobs in the community, good paying jobs, medical jobs. So that's the type of continued success that we want to initiate so that people will come and live in our community. If we're not growing, we're not moving forward. And if we don't move forward, then we're going to get stagnant. And I don't think that's what the council wants, the city staffs want, or even the citizens that currently live here.
Now, so we're going to manage growth. That's what we're going to do because growth is coming.
Yes.
So the houses, 1,200 permits, roughly 1,200, a little over that, permits for new housing starts and growing. So we talked a lot in our first interview. Because you had you had done something with the development, something
Economic development.
Yes, economic development.
Yes.
Yes. So you were real versed on the business. Now that you are, or you've been a mayor, you've been on the council. What are some of the things you've done with business in order to have them grow in the right places, and also to make sure that they do share in some of that tax burden?
Every 5 years, the city goes through a comprehensive plan.
Yeah.
And we're doing that right now.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yes, we're doing that right now. We started back in November, and we're pretty well finished with that.
Mm-hmm.
The comprehensive plan suggests this is how we want our city to grow. Where do you want industry? Where do you want housing? Where do you want retail? And it gives us a direction of how to manage that growth in the areas of the city that we want that to take place, the growth to take place. So we're doing that. And then after we get through with the comprehensive plan, then we'll go to the transportation plan. How are you going to move individuals, walkability studies, those type of things, move them from point A to point B. And then the third thing that we're doing, and we just initiated that, is to refresh our economic development strategic plan.
Okay.
And that is huge for us. And we'll get into that,
Yeah.
especially the strategic economic development plan.
Well, that probably goes into what I was asking you, because I was asking you about the way because you know a lot about business, and now you've been the mayor and you've been on the council, and now you're doing this plan, and what are kind of some of what in what direction is Waxahachie expected to go when it comes to business?
Well, in terms of the location, businesses want to be up and down the traffic corridor. So our traffic corridor currently is Highway 77, Business 287, and then Highway 287. So in our strategic plan, the one that we're refreshing now, back in 2012, we did our first strategic plan, and we had a consultant out of Austin come in and help us put that together. There were 5 bullet points in that plan. First was education, second was healthcare, third was transportation corridor, fourth was downtown revitalization, and fifth was economic development tools. Now this was 2012, and we called it Vision 2020 to give us 8 years to put that into effect. Now, in that plan, there were 25 community leaders that signed off and said, this is the direction that we want to continue to build and make that stronger, our plan for a balanced economy. And so that's what's out. Just think about now. Education. We're growing. We're needing new schools, elementary, secondary. We got the new high school. Healthcare. Baylor Scott and White. They just built 7 years ago a new facility, and they have the first medical office building. They've just broken ground on the second medical office building that will have a cardiac unit in it.
Oh.
And then eventually they're going to have to expand the bed tower because of the growth. So you look at the people that come to get their health care here in Waxahachie, they serve a 4-county area. And if you go back when we did our economic development study, we wanted to know in a drive time of 15 and 20 minutes, what is the area that we serve and what is the population in that area? And we found out that in a 15-minute drive time into Waxahachie, we serve a population of 70,000. In a 20-minute drive time, we serve a population of 90,000. So the traffic that you see today is not all Waxahachieans. They're coming in from this 4-county area. They're coming in to shop in our businesses. They're coming in to be entertained, coming into our restaurants, and we need to continue to expand that. And that's why we're refreshing the second strategic plan that was just kicked off.
Right.
But one of the things that was really important in this refresh, for the last 10 to 15 years, we've been talking about a Waxahachie Waxahachie industrial park and a business park. And we finally got that approved here about a month ago.
Yeah, that was a little controversial. There was a few little grumblings about that industrial park, but like we were talking about earlier, you want to create a place where you could work and live, and shop. So tell me a little bit about that industrial park that you approved.
It's about a 350 acre park, and we'd like to have light industrial manufacturing. Could be a small distribution center, could be maybe a data center, something like that would create new good paying jobs, as well as be attractive for future growth in our industrial sector. Now, our current industry, well, I think we have 4 industry now that's expanded, creating more and more jobs. And so when you have industry coming into a community, that initiates more growth. The U.S. Department of Commerce tells us that for every dollar of a manufacturing job, that turns over in the community 7 times. meaning it takes $7 to take care of that $1 in housing, in business and retail, those type things. So that's why we want industry. And sure, there's some people here in the city that are concerned, but as we continue to grow and grow those jobs, then that means that people are living here and their children, and they go away to get educated. Maybe they want to come back because there'll be jobs available for them to come back, enjoy the quality of life that they had as growing up and that their families are experiencing.
So you want to make this place where people come, stay, work, shop, and just live this community. You want to create that here.
Yes, we do. We have created it. We still maintain our culture and our history, and we want to continue that so that Waxahachie is a community that people want to live and stay in.
So what do we do? Okay, because that is a wonderful thing in itself to have that in this town, in this city. But there's people who are from here or been here that maybe feel a little left out of this, or maybe don't feel included so much in this plan. Would you agree with something like that, or would you think that maybe maybe some things changes is a little rough sometimes?
Well, we're always going to experience change, no matter what we do.
Yes, sir.
But as long as that change is progressive, as long as that change is positive, and that all of our citizens are involved in a more progressive city, then everybody is going to, we think, be more and more comfortable.
Right.
We like to say that the train has left the station and we're picking up boxcars all the way. And we want that train to keep on going. We want to continue to grow our community so that people will come in, live here, work here, enjoy life. If you go back, gosh, for the last year and a half, with COVID, we've all been inside, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're beginning to get more and more outside. You see people walking around the square. People are shopping again. You walk into the stores and people are buying things. People are enjoying life again. And we're learning to move forward. Well, if we're not out there aggressively wanting to increase the activities that our citizens can have and enjoy, that we're not doing our job as a council, or we're not doing our job as a city staff. That's what we're here for. And that's what we're going to continue to do.
Well, I mean, it does sound ambitious, and it is coming. It definitely is coming. So you have this plan, and you broke down the plan the way it's coming, and you say that we're pretty much almost completed. When is that going to be unveiled to the people of Waxahachie?
Just as soon as it is complete. Let's just say, hopefully in the next 60 days, that plan will be presented in a book form. It'll be posted on the city's website, and people will have an opportunity to study, to look at, and if there's something that they don't understand or they don't agree with, please let us know. I mean, we're here at City Hall. We want to help our people understand the direction that we like to input, and we would welcome calls, discussions.
Right. And just on a personal basis, whenever I've had a question, I've always been able to reach out to you and ask you, or reach out and to any one of the council members. Everybody's been accessible for questions. So one of the things that with this growth, you're getting these big valuations, property values are going up big time. And with that, taxes. Now, there's only so much that the city could control, and then the biggest part of the tax is the schools. But you do affect the tax rate of the average homeowner in Waxahachie. Mm-hmm. So what you told me we lowered the rate 2 cents, I think you said.
2 cents.
We lowered the rate 2 cents, but we have a lot of growth. And what I hear often is, well, we're getting such a big growth, so that 2%, why don't we go a little lower? And because we're getting all that growth, they're getting all that money. So how do you answer that?
Well, we're we're always going to have growth, and what we try to do is to come in with the necessary infrastructure to handle that growth. And we've been able to do that in the past. But go back to what we were talking about. The reason that we were able to lower the tax rate, not the taxes that you pay, but the tax rate, was because of our balanced economy. And as long as we have that balanced economy, we will look at each year, what is the tax rate? What can we do? But then we also have to put infrastructure in, streets, water, wastewater, those type things that bring to the citizens the conveniences of what they're enjoying.
Right.
So we're going to continue to do that. We just had a $43,300,000 20-year obligation bond that was passed. In that, the interest rate for those bonds was 1.88%. And those bonds were sold in almost 3 weeks. So in that bond package, there were 17 different projects, mostly infrastructure, water, wastewater, streets, annex, that type thing that was in that bond issue that we were able to do. And again, that was because of the balanced economy that we have. Sorry, but we can't talk about that as much as we really need to. So when the citizens understand that and they continue to have this quality of life, I think they're going to accept the fact of the direction that the city's going in now.
So last budget that passed, that's long gone, and we're almost ready to start working on a new one.
We are.
What are some of the priorities you'd like to see as mayor on the next budget?
Well, we want to continue infrastructure. Look at our parks. We have 20 parks in our city. And in this budget, we're spending $1.5 million on those parks. We want to continue to enlarge our hike and bike trails. And if you walked on that, they're really, really nice. We're going to continue to expand the hike and bike trail. We just, through our 4B Corporation, approved a new dog park out on Howard Road, out where past where the old rodeo grounds used to be. And that is under construction, and probably the first part of May will be the grand opening. And that was funded through our 4B Corporation. In fact, we had a meeting this afternoon and got an update on that. So people can bring their dogs down, walk them around. That dog park is associated with our hike and bike trail. And so that is another avenue of convenience for the citizens of the city of Waxahachie. So those are some of the things that we're wanting to do. We want to continue quality housing. We want to continue retail. We want to continue for our industry to grow, and this quality of life continues to move forward.
Is there anything in the budget that concerned you the last time that you'd like to take care of this time?
Well, we review the budget, and we have our capital improvements program. And that's what do we need to do with the infrastructure and in our budget 5 years in advance. And so because of our growth rate in this budget, we're adding our 4th fire station. And that's going to be on the west side of the city because our growth potential is toward the west side, but it gives an overall coverage of facilities inside the city with that fire station growth rate. And so we're going to continue to look at those projections in that 5-year period. And then at each budget cycle, we'll look to see, can we include more of that 5 years projections? Or if we can't, do we need to take something out? That way, then we're managing the budget, we're managing the growth, and we're still giving our citizens the quality of life that they truly deserve.
Well, as much as I love talking to you, unfortunately, we're going to start having to wrap up. But I do want to. I know that you're running, and Mr. Suter is your opponent.
Mm-hmm.
You're running for re-election, and I just kind of would like for you to tell the people of Ellis County why you should be reelected, and just talk to them directly, like I had you do last time.
Well, Mr. Suter is a nice man, but I have two opponents this go around.
Yes, you do.
Mr. Suter and Mr. Bryant. But I think the difference is my experience. I've had 18 years as Economic Development Director in the city, and then almost 2 years on the council now. And so when you go back and you look at experience and involved, then I think that's the difference in being an incumbent and then being a challenger. In economic development, you're involved in all aspects of the city, and you get to understand the direction of each department within the city, and so the staff. And I think because of that experience and because of the vision and the foresight, that I would be the best qualified for place number 2.
Yeah. I could talk to you all day about stuff because there's just so much I want to cover. But I have the city manager, Mr. Scott's going to come on here soon in the next coming weeks. And we're kind of going to get into some details maybe I wasn't able to get to today. So, again, thank you so much for coming on the show, Mayor Barnes. It's always a pleasant time with you.
Well, thank you so much for having me, and thank you for doing what you do.
Thank you.